Virgos have the Knight of Cups and you have the Ten of Wands. So the Two of Swords. So you Virgos are definitely not having it. You don't want to be out on dates. A lot of you Virgos don't want to even be bothered because from what it is that I'm seeing here from this overall reading, right? When I take a step back and take a look at all these cards, right, put together, you just don't want to deal with it, right? And we're going to get into why. Because the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Wands is like, you see relationships as of right now, like more of a burden than anything else because of the confusion, right? People, like it is, as I said before, I don't know what it is, but people spend way too much time basically wasting their own time, trying to get other people to be caught up like they're up underneath some sort of spell. They spend way too much time. Like, you know what I mean? And the reason why it is that I stress so much time is because one of these days you're gonna lose that body of yours. And this isn't me being disrespectful. This is me putting things into perspective. And like, people tend to think that they're gonna live 1 billion years, 1 trillion years. People think that they're gonna live, I don't know how many umpteen untold amount of years. And it's like, no, you're not. So what are you doing? And like, they don't understand, like, hey, listen, you doing all this dumb stuff that you're doing. What are you doing? Right? Like, what value, like what advantage are you getting out of this? But they're so dumb, and they lack such IQ. They can't seem to, like, they think that the stupidness that they're doing has some sort of weight or value to it, and it doesn't. But instead of them take a look at it and see that, hey, listen, instead of being you Virgos as enemies, why don't you be, you Virgos as friends, right? And loved ones. They don't want to do that, right? So the Two of Swords is about the Two of Swords is about like having a blindfold on. So it's like the way that people switch up and flip-flop, sometimes you are unsure of who your own friends and enemies are because so many people flip-flop so much. Like, they're so comfortable with flip-flopping to the point where when it comes to you Virgos, it's like you can't trust anybody because it's like your friends, the so-called people that you call your friends, or maybe even the people that you're trying to get to know, go out with, those are the very same people that turn on you in a drop of a hat, yet they're with you. I know a thing or two about that myself. So it's like, who's really my friends for real if everybody's gonna act like they don't have common sense? So now the Two of Cups now is about how, since that's the case, the Two of Cups is about how, ultimately, you would like, right, the Virgos that have their minds and their hearts in the correct place, right, who know what they want, who isn't trying to, skew situations and, run game on people, because Virgo could do that. But Virgo is the zodiac sign of having game. But to you Virgos who are not doing that, you wanted one, like I said, you want one person, or things to be even Steven, right? Square, right? And square. And people can't do that because the Six of Wands represents you trying to work it out with others. Like I said, fair and square. And people can't work it out with you. They can't seem to make a square relationship work. And a lot of times people think that being a square is a bad thing. No, being a square is awesome. It's on point. Being a square means you're not cutting corners. That's what that means. You're not in the game of cutting corners and playing cops and robbers. And if you get caught, you get jammed up, go to, you do not get a get out of jail free card. That's what being a square means, right? So the Hanged Man is how a lot of you Virgos are being very patient, you know, because the relationships that you have, they're like this. They're upside down. They're warped because people don't know how to act right. And I was telling you, Virgos, this, that the people who play games are socially awkward. I've been telling y'all this. I've been telling all the zodiac signs, like, it's not what you think, because a person has to be socially awkward to go out on a date with you, and then they on their phone, playing on their phone, doing what it is that they doing. What do you think they doing? What they doing? Do you think you think they're texting somebody? Probably more often than not, they're probably not even. They could be, but more often than not, they're probably not even texting anybody. But what are they doing? They just want to create a scenario in which they don't want to have an interpersonal conversation where the two of you ask questions, because they don't want the other person on the other side of the table, or maybe the person that's going out with them that's on the same side of the table, right, to get a hold of the idea that these people are socially awkward. So what do? They like to create separation. That's where the fancy schmancy attitude is about. So if these people are wilding out like this, and I'm just talking personally from my experience, but I'm talking about it from an example of the social awkwardness that these people don't want you to see that they are. So they use all of these things to distract you. They use insults and all of this stuff to distract you from the idea that they are weird. So this is the type of reality that a lot of you Virgos are in. Y'all are cool, and the people that you've interacted with romantically are socially awkward. But they have to warp your orientation. And what I mean by that is how you perceive, because orientation means perceive, right? Like, so how do you perceive your existence? They have to turn it around, because the King of Cups now and the Ten of Pentacles represents, but yet at the same time, what the cold part about it is, but yet at the same time, it's not like you have a shortage of people that are interested. What it is those people are on some nonsense too. Sometimes, a lot of the times, where it's the Ten of Pentacles, they want you to come out of pocket and spend something too, because they don't want to admit that they're hungry. Anybody, let me just go ahead and break the game on that too. Anybody that requires you, Virgos, to go out with them, right, to go out to expensive restaurants and stuff like this, or requires you to spend money on these dates, they are hungry individuals. Let me explain something to y'all. Let me explain something to y'all. Them people that say that they're gonna go ahead and take those trays home to their children, they're lying. You know what they're gonna do? They live by themselves 9 times out of 10. You know what they're gonna do? They are gonna go home. They are lying, talking about they're gonna take them trays home to their children. They want to pack up the doggy bag, because that's what they call it. They're gonna pack up food to go. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna be at the house munching down something crazy, but they don't want to eat in front of you because they don't want you to think that they're disgusting, because they starving. They have to act fancy on a date. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. They have to act fancy on a date. But when they take that food to go, which they want their other date to spend, and then they take that food to go home, they are chowing down. They are lying to you, a lot of y'all, if you've ever heard some stuff like that. That's the real game. I'm not saying that they don't have children. I'm saying that 9 times out of 10, 90% out of the 100% of the times, they're lying about that. So you got to know the game. So the Five of Wands and the Death card is about how, since that's the case, you Virgos are done giving charity to people, because people play these games where they're wasting time, but they want your bread. You Virgos financially, a lot of you Virgos who are financially figuring it out, or you figured it out, or financially well off, that's the stupidity in it. They don't want to have a bag of their own. They want you to spend to spend your bag on them, but they don't want to have a bag of their own. They don't want to do the work. But then they want to contact you, Virgos, to find out if you will save them. So what are these people doing? They're relying on the kindness of strangers to help them survive. They're munching down on these dates. So that's the reason why it is that you Virgos have, one of the reasons why you Virgos have decided to be like, yo, you done. Because what is this? And you should decide to not rock with this, because, and you should be done, because again, what is that? What does that say? The idea that these are the choices that you Virgos have to deal with, because this is how dysfunctional individuals are. And you're right. I ain't gonna say everybody, but so many people are living a lie. So many people capping, trying to act like they're better than what they are. Because the majority of the times, the people who are better than what they are trying to do everything that they can to make sure they preserve that quality of life that they have. They're not zipping and running around and trying to burn that out in the first generation. Oh, YOLO, you can't take it with you, throwing money up in the sky. That's not how they're moving. You know what I'm saying? J.D. Rockefeller, J.D. Rockefeller lived in a home, you know what I'm saying? Lived in a home or whatnot, and tried to save as much money as he possibly could. And he was with all the money that he gave up to charity and the money that he was able to keep, he would be a trillionaire right now. You know what I'm saying? $1.4 trillion to be exact. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Hanged Man. The World, the Devil, yeah. Four of Cups, Page of Cups, yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, the World and the Devil represents you Virgos being okay with being by yourselves, and that enjoying your life, and that's the thing with being a Virgo, right? Like, you have to be able, if you're a Virgo and you've been learning, you have to be able to be okay with being in a relationship and being by yourselves, because a lot of people have a warped sense of reality anyway. So it's hard for you to get yourselves in real functional relationships, because those people are not really keeping a thou wow. Then you have the Four of Cups and the Page of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups and the Page of Cups is about how they're socially awkward, and that's the problem. They're coming to you, asking you for help, and all of these people are at the kindness of you, at the kindness of strangers. They're not trying to be in a relationship with you because of how dysfunctional and socially awkward they are, and you see that they are, but they would want to be in one, but they also need your help dearly. But you Virgos are not running a charity, though. So again, they're at the kindness of strangers. Let's clarify the Death card. They're at the kindness of strangers while trying to play it off like they're not. You have the Judgment. That's what the trips to Dubai and all this stuff is about. The Page of Wands, the Magician, and then the Chariot, right? To clarify the Death card, right? And guess what? If you decide to not help these individuals, they're mad at you. But they have to accept it, because they're too lazy to get off their butt and to actually figure certain things out, so that they don't have to always be running around begging somebody. But you think they're going to do that? No. So what? The Magician and the Chariot. So now that's more people that's going to be upset at you, trying to hunt you down spiritually, running around, right? Chariot, Magician. It's like the Salem witch trials. They're on the hunt for you, Virgos, right? trying to ruin your name, trying to ruin your reputation. How many people on YouTube try to ruin my reputation? Over nothing. Nothing. Not nothing you can prove. Nothing. Period. You know, but then they still talk to me and, you know, stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So all of this, you know, misguided anger or whatever the case may be. But again, a lot of you Virgos are getting back to your childhood. You're getting back to the things that you wanted to do or you have done and you feel good about. You know what I mean? And there's nothing that anyone can really ultimately do about it. So people really are going to be upset now and even more later when, you know, you Virgos stop trying to serve people and stop trying to put yourselves up there on the cross and really start becoming a little bit more self-serving. Like, nah, if it, you know what I'm saying? Like, if a person is not sincere, if a person isn't trying to learn how to fish for themselves, then you're not giving them a fish, right? Which is the opposite sign of Pisces. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Smash the subscribe button, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. Peace.